Okay, good afternoon. I'm just trying this streaming thing again. Uh okay, first thing I've got to say is it doesn't look like it is putting my um avatar up for some reason. I thought I had that set up to do that, and of course now it's not doesn't appear that it's there. And let me see what I can do here. Actually, I got no clue what in the world I'm going to do. Uh, so let me come back over here to see if there's something on this other side that I can do. I don't think so. Uh, it told me to upload a video, upload my avatar, which I did. But all I'm getting is a blue screen here. And okay, well, anyway, a couple bones I want to cover here real quick. Is the first thing seems to be a little bit of discussion going around about a question posed to President Trump. Reporter asked him if he had considered or would be willing to consider declaring a national emergency. Now, as a president of the United States, and you want to get something done, of course, you're going to consider all options. How much weight you put to each option is a different matter. So, of course, yes, he had considered and they had discussed his options, including declaring a national emergency. He'd been an idiot not to. He'd been a poor businessman not to consider that option. But thanks to the media and the way it's portraying his answers, it's, oh, President Trump is going to do this. This is top of his option list. Trump didn't say it was. All he says, yes, he considered the option. He gave a straightforward answer to a stupid setup question. Now, last night, Ranting Monkey and Scribe covered this. And while I like these guys, and I've got a lot of respect for a lot of their opinions, even though both of them are way to the left of me, this is the kind of stuff that they do that just absolutely ticks me off. They don't consider how the press is portraying what actually happened. And I told them to go ahead and actually review the options, review the videos, see what was actually questioned, how the question was posed, and consider that. Monkey said he went and watched it and it didn't do anything to change his mind. I just don't think he thought about it. I don't think he considered, and I know Scribe did. I don't think they considered that as a president, they're going to have people in the job I've got. I get paid to be the devil. I think of worst case scenarios for the boss and to try to come up with solutions. That means a lot of times him and I sit there and we have a lot of discussions going back and forth, and we just don't agree. I'm sorry about that. And we just don't agree on what needs to be done or how we need to do it. And that's because a lot of times and I'm not going to say he's never wrong, because he rarely is. But when he is wrong, it goes to the way of something that I forecasted would happen. And we didn't properly prepare for it. Or sometimes he did take into to say that he understood what I was going, and he did come up with an options in case what I thought would happen or could happen happened. We've made money, we've saved money, we've lost money. But that's my job to come up with all this other stuff. And I just don't think that there are times where where people sit back and consider and realize that presidents, businessmen, uh, actually consider all options and have people who put all options in front of them for them to consider. So, yes, it was considered. Trump gave a straight up answer. No nonsense, no beating around the bush. And this is what sometimes gets him in trouble with the press, because the press will take his straight up answer and turn around and use it against him because he didn't couch it in wishy washy terms that wouldn't hold him accountable, that could be made to look 5 or 6 different ways and for him to spin later on. He gave a straight answer to a straight question. All right. Another thing that's going on here, and I'm going to go to my next favorite subject, guns and gun control. And again, I'm going to go back to, you'll hear me reference back to Rant Monkey and Scribe a lot on this because I do listen to their programs every night. And these are times where I wish I was an active voice on the show so I could get in there. Because Monkey proclaims himself to be a free speech absolutionist. Everybody can say anything they want. But he turns around and gets to the Second Amendment. And, well, yeah, okay. Yeah, we need to do this and we need to do that. And, well, I really don't own guns. I don't have a dog in this hunt. And it just, I mean, I sit there and I'm silently screaming at him that he needs to be applying the same standard to the Second Amendment that he applies to the First Amendment. The Second Amendment is the only amendment that specifically has the phrase shall not be infringed. Think about those words. Shall not be infringed. 4 words. Shall not be infringed. It cannot be any clearer than that. Yet every day, people, Democrats, liberals, even some supposed conservatives sit there and want to come up with more infringements. The latest infringement that is absolutely going ape nuts across this country are these red flag laws in the aftermath of the Florida shooting, where anybody can call in a cop and say, This person has guns, and I'm afraid that he's going to hurt someone. The cops take that to a judge. The judge says, okay, go grab all of his guns. And here in Florida, it's a year. You have to wait a year and then prove that you're not a danger to anyone before you can get your guns back. And of course, you can't own any guns. You can't buy any guns. And if you're like me with a concealed weapons permit, you can't carry any guns. Therefore, now you are defenseless. Now, I work second and third shifts a lot. I'm out there at night, midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. We all know the old say, nothing good happens after midnight. That's because when most things bad happen, that's when it happens. That's when the guys who don't care about the laws are out there doing what they need to do, doing what they want to do to break the law. And you got people like me who are obeying the laws, and you have to admit it, the courts have ruled the police are not required to protect you. That to serve and protect line is no longer a valid motto for the police. The Parkland shooting, once again, judges ruled that the police on scene had no obligation to enter the school to save the students' lives. That is why the cops could not be sued. You are your own protector. It is up to you to protect yourself. And these red flag laws take that protection away on the whim of an anonymous person making a phone call. Somebody that you don't like, somebody that doesn't like you, somebody that doesn't like guns. If you don't think that the gun grabbers, the moms against the moms take action or whatever that Bloomberg group is, they've already said that, it's been a standard practice of theirs for years that if they even suspect somebody has a gun, they call the police. If you're out in public and one of these moms suspects you have a gun, they will call the police on you. And they will lie. They admit they will lie in order to have your gun taken away from you and to have you arrested. So what is to keep them from calling the cops and telling another lie to have your guns taken from you for a year? And Marco Rubio, Monday morning, I'll be contacting his office, and he has lost my vote forever. He has now submitted a bill for a national red flag law where anybody can call the cops and have your guns taken away from you. This is wrong. This is a serious, not only a violation of your First Amendment, but it's a violation of many of your protections. You can't face your accuser because it's an anonymous phone call. You can't go before the judge and say, this is wrong, because the way the law is written, you can't protest it for a year. Then you have to, it's not the state proving that you're a danger, it's you proving you're not a danger. It's a complete inversion of our federal judiciary system. And people are just sitting back taking it. They're endorsing it. Well, I don't have guns. I don't need a gun. That's what the police are for. The police aren't for anything. They're there to draw the chalk outline around your body afterwards. They're there to bring in revenue for the city or for the county. You don't think so? Get a speeding ticket if you're the only car on the road. Get a speeding ticket. Who You're out there by yourself and you're doing 10 miles over the speed limit, over the posted speed limit. You're not endangering anyone because you're the only car on the road, but you still get that speeding ticket. It's nothing but a revenue grab. It is nothing but a revenue grab. The police are no longer, the police are not there to protect you. They are not there to serve you. They are there to serve this city. They are there to draw the chalk outline around your body. They are there to take an after accident report. They are there to do anything but serve and protect. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not anti-cop. My father was a cop. My uncles were cops. One of my uncles was a police commissioner. I've got a chief of detectives in my family. I'm not anti-cop. But I'm also not blind to the truth. And the truth is that the cops are no longer there to protect you. You are your own first responder. You are your own protection. You are the one who is there to protect your family. My wife and I go out for dinner. I'm there to protect her, to get her out of the restaurant, out of the movie theater, out of the shopping plaza, out of the mall, out of wherever we are at if some idiot comes in and starts causing trouble. And honestly, I'm not there to protect someone else. I'm not going to go out there and risk my life to protect a stranger. My job is to get my wife and myself out of whatever danger we're in as quickly as possible. Now, if that means I have to shoot someone to get us out of danger, then that's what it means. But at least then I have the option to do that when I have my gun with me. But if I have some idiot down the road who calls the cops and says that I'm a danger and they've come in and confiscated my guns from me, now I'm defenseless. I can't protect myself. I can't protect my wife. I can't protect my children. I can't protect my grandchild. I can't do. All I can do is run like a little scared rabbit and hope that the vulture isn't circling over my head or over the heads of my family or my loved ones. Now, I've got a lot to say about this, and over the course of time, you're going to hear me say more. The banning of bump stocks, stupidity. You can do the same thing with your belt loop and your thumb. Once again, excuse me. I've got something going on with my chest cold here. I picked up more than the past 24 hours, 48 hours. Something's going around. But anyway, If you want, and I'm going to go back to Trump here for a minute, lest you think that I am a fanatical Trump supporter. I was actually a Cruz supporter. When Trump was running and started talking, I made no bones about it. I said Trump would never get the nomination. But I liked the fact that he was in the mix, that he was raising questions about international trade. He was raising questions about the Southern Wall. He was raising all these questions that I wanted to hear discussed, that I wanted answers to. But I never thought he'd get the nomination. Did I vote for Trump over Hillary? Please. There was no question about it. Do I have a MAGA hat? Yeah, I've got a MAGA hat. But no, there's Trump is like all people. He does a lot of good. Sometimes he lets his mouth overrun or in his Twitter fingers. But he is effectively destroying the press. His poll numbers are 3 times what the press would rather have them be. People are seeing that he's doing good things. The economy is on the right track. After Obama said it would never, our new normal is this. Trump came in and proved him wrong. Jobs, unemployment's at the lowest levels that they've been in 30 years. Women employees, Black employees, Hispanic employees. Everybody's benefiting right now. Steel mills are coming back. They're reopening old mills. We do have a problem with Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats taking control of the House. Articles of impeachment's already been filed. And one of the biggest jokes, a bill for a constitutional amendment to get rid of the Electoral College. I may save that for another time because this is absolutely ridiculous to even consider. Getting rid of the Electoral College. That would mean California, New York, Cincinnati, Chicago, Detroit. Did I say Miami? South Florida? And Houston. They would elect the next president. They would elect the president of the United States. That's all there is to it. Those 5 or 6 areas, if you went on popular vote, those 5 or 6 areas would elect the president. You would never see the president in Iowa, Wyoming, Montana, West Virginia, Arkansas, Kansas. You would never see these people out there in these other states. New Mexico, Arizona, forget it. You'd never see them. Iowa, yeah, goodbye. Vermont, goodbye. New Hampshire, goodbye. Yeah, you'll never see a presidential candidate hit there because guess what? They don't need your vote. Your vote is worthless. One thing, and I fault the schools for this. I fault parents for this. People today, they forget that this is that the proper title of the country is the United States of America. Each state is sovereign unto itself. That is the reasoning behind the Electoral College. Each state is sovereign. People need to get back to read the Constitution and what it actually says and the powers that it authorizes the federal governments, the powers that it relinquishes to the people and to the state. Sorry about that. Powers, the Constitution's really clear. When the founders and the framers of the Constitution wrote it, they knew the dangers of having a all-powerful centralized government. That's what they got read away from. An all-powerful centralized government. There's an old saying, the government that governs the least governs the best. The people should be, you hear the left-wing mantra, power to the people. Yes, power to the people, power to the individual, power to the states, not power to the federal, to Washington, D.C. And we are a republic. We're not a pure democracy. We are a republic. When we vote, and it's intentionally set up this way, when we vote as a state to elect a president. Because every state is, their needs are different. All you need to do is look at California and the stuff that goes on there. Look at their water laws. Do you think the farmers have never gotten fair treatment when it comes to the popular vote as to what bills and such go through? Because the big cities like Los Angeles, where the population is much, much denser, are going to vote for what benefits them and not for what benefits the farmers. They're not thinking that the farmer needs the water to grow the food that they eat. They just want to make sure that they have their water for them to drink and wash their cars and take their baths with. They don't, food is something you get out of the grocery store. They don't think that has to come off the farm. No, there's just too much to it. All right. Well, it's been almost a half hour, and I've got other things I need to get going on right now. My wife is home, so she'll be coming back, and my dog will be coming running back here soon too. So leave comments below, like it, and if anybody ever wants to jump on and discuss things with me, I'll be more than glad. And I'm going to try to figure out why I can't get an avatar to show up, because looking at the blue screen at this blue screen, that's like the blue screen of death. I've hated that. Scares me. All right. Well, everybody have a good day. Bye.